Hello you fine ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I hope you are all doing very well. Today we're going over some of the newer heroes added to Battlefront, mainly Bossk and Chewbacca, because perhaps you had no problem with this, but I have been playing recently against these heroes and found that I have been very confused because I deal damage to them and then I come back 10 minutes later and they have even more health than before, and I'm getting really confused and I have no idea what's going on. So I did some research, and today we're going to analyze some of the newer heroes and their traits or abilities that allow them to regenerate or gain health. So, starting with Bossk, his trait Trandoshan Regeneration allows him to restore a bit of health with each kill or significant damage dealt to heroes. So this makes a lot of sense why he felt like I couldn't really deal damage to him and that he kept regenerating health. It's because he was regenerating health. The official EA site even said that they wanted Bossk to feel like you couldn't really get rid of him on the battlefield. So this makes a lot of sense, because that is exactly how I was feeling. So is this overpowered? I don't really know. It's kind of overpowered, yeah, a little bit, but in a good way, I think. It just makes Bossk a really powerful hero, but you can still get rid of him, of course, if you deal enough damage in a short amount of time and don't allow him to just get away every single time, go out, regen that health, and then come back. So as long as you keep on him, stick to him like glue, you should be good. Now, he also has the Toxic Escape, which allows him to create a lot of distance by jumping away from his opponents in whatever way you steer him, and he also drops a Toxic Dioxis Grenade, which is a lot more potent than the Star Card one. He also has the Micro Grenade Launcher, which is really good for heroes or small constricted locations on a map, like a hallway or really any close quarters map, and also really good for large groups of enemies. Now, another super surprising ability that I found he had was the Predatory Instincts ability, which allows for thermal vision. Though of course this means he's vulnerable to the Flash Grenade and Sonic Imploder because they blind him, it is still extremely powerful because it doesn't have any cooldown. You can leave it on the whole game if you want. And it also allows for faster cooldowns, increased damage, and increased sprinting speed. So all in all, this is a really powerful ability and makes him a very viable opponent on the battlefield. Moving on to Chewbacca, who also has an ability that doesn't necessarily allow him to regenerate health, but can allow him to gain shields for a while, and that is the Mighty Roar ability, which will increase his damage and shields, and also the damage and shields of all the rebel soldiers around him, giving them all level 3 Berserker trait and high armor. Now, friendly heroes also benefit from this Mighty Roar ability, but they only gain the armor buff and not the damage increase, but that of course makes sense because they already deal a lot of damage as is. Now, he also has the Ground Slam ability, which is pretty simple, but also really effective. You just slam the ground and it deals a huge shockwave of damage, which is really powerful. And then the Multi-Bolts ability, which pairs nicely with his trait Furious Fire, which allows for a total of 8 bolts to be fired at a time, which is pretty crazy, but then again, that's only if you have his trait fully leveled up to level 3, but still very powerful, and is really good for splash damage, just like the Ground Slam ability. Now, finally, moving on to Krennic, because believe it or not, he also has an ability which allows him, similar to Chewbacca, to gain a little more health from shields, and that is the Wrath of the Empire ability, which will increase his health, but not, of course, to the extent which Bossk is able to do so, because Bossk can actually regenerate his health instead of just adding more shield or armor, like the Back-to-Bomb does. So that is all for today. As I just learned in this research, in the Scarif patch, all the vanilla heroes were also given traits, like Bossk's Trandoshan Regeneration trait, something like that. They were all given one of those traits, but we don't really have time for that in this video, so I will be going over those most likely in another video later down the road. This one was really about how these newer heroes are regenerating their health and how they can really be a menace on the battlefield because of it. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. That is all for today. I hope you all enjoyed. Have a great day. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.